oh boy, where did everybody go? I'm still trying to figure that out for myself. I mean, since retiring about 6 months ago, I find myself looking around. I don't get the phone calls. I don't get the general banter that you had in the office. I don't have those light conversations, somebody coming in on Monday morning into my office and saying, hey, what'd you do on the weekend? Granted, most of that was just noise and a little bit of just busy work, but a lot of that was the things that kept your mind active, kept you sort of engaged in life. And you know what I'm finding, and I don't know what a lot of you are finding out there, but today's a beautiful day. Not because there's nobody around, because where did everybody go? So what I've found is, and I have touched on this before, I know I've mentioned this in many conversations, and the feelings actually. We talk about how when you retire or you make the decision to retire, quite often people start to sort of fall off. You thought you had all these friends, and you only coincidentally find out that most of them were coworkers, paid to put on smiles, paid to be friendly, paid to be, buddies and chitty chatties, and, people that would, be good people just to have around, to chat with, friends, lunch, and all of that. But as time and life goes on, and, this just keeps going on, and you think these people come and go, change jobs. So as you see people change, get, different jobs, opportunities, whether, they're moving on or retiring or whatever, this is a constant evolution in your workspace. And it pretty much comes and goes with no muss and no fuss. And so now that I'm retired, I'm one of those people that I saw from the inside looking out as people were coming and going within my world and sphere, if you see. So it's all about perspective. But from my perspective right now, I no longer have people around. So is this sad? Sometimes. And sometimes it's absolutely the best thing ever. Because I know a lot of you are thinking, hey, I'm working, or I just finished working, and, I relished in going to work and have that social atmosphere. And while it was a great distraction, being around people, even if you were feeling down in the dumpers, and, I have had my ups and downs for sure with toxic jobs. My dad, who passed away in 2021, life has been very stressful for quite some time. And so the distractions at work are often good. They're welcome. And having all those people in your lives are welcome. Not just because you may think they're your friends, or you clearly know that they're not your friends, but they're around anyway. So it seems like a great situation just to have these people in your lives, right? Just to, like you said, sounding boards, just to have a chat with, a conversation, a light banter, maybe in a lunchroom. Keeps you distracted, right? When you're going through all those ups and downs in life that even may be in work or maybe outside of work, when my old man basically, and I mean that most respectfully, that was an endearing term for us. I call him that, and we had fun, and we'd wrestle around sometimes and golf together sometimes. So, I mean, my dad was my dad. He was great. But you know what? I saw the writing on the wall probably, like I said, I've mentioned this before, probably 10 years before he finally passed away. And even my mother too, ups and downs many years with bouting different stages and types of, the C word. So lots of struggles in our family, and not just short wham and it was over. I mean, these long-term chronic illnesses that just degenerative and just slowly chipping away at the family. And so that takes a major toll on you long-term, your mind, the body, the soul. It really, really does have a major impact. And so the only saving grace for me during those years where, my parents were going through all those troubles and the illnesses and the sicknesses, were having those people there on Monday morning. I'd go into work, I'd have these ups and downs, psychologically, mentally, whatever, and even more so emotionally, and you're worried about your parents, and then you get a phone call and your mother's telling you about another bad test result. And these things just wham, and just takes you down a notch, takes you down a notch, takes you down a notch. And this kept going on and on and on. And I can't help but just express how how challenging that was just to manage that, just to manage those feelings on and on and on. And so having those people in your lives is a great way to sort of to have people listen, to even as a distraction, to have all these other people and other activities and busy work and busy bees all keeping things going, and your mind off of what's really going on in the background, which is life. And life's has a lot of big wins. I often said some of the best moments in my life were moments with obviously meeting my wife, that special night at for anybody who's from the E-Town area, do you remember the Atomic Cafe? The Atomic Cafe? I'm going to just throw that out there. We met one fine night many moons ago at the Atomic Cafe. She asked me to hold her drink, and there I was. I was a sucker for a great looking lady, so I basically stood there like a sucker for 20 minutes while she kind of went dancing and did her rounds around the bar, and I basically just stood there holding her drink, and it was fun. But she came back, and we eventually met up and changed numbers, and the rest is history. And the next great moment, that moment that we got married, it was a great night. Some friends I hadn't seen for a while, they were all there, and it was a great moment. These are some of the joys in life that just bring you all of this, like bring you up, right? More joys, having our first child, then our second, third, and fourth children. Those are all elements. Those are all times in our lives where we keep building ourselves up. The excitement, our first home, more excitement. The next, new car, more excitement. All these things kept building us up. And then you sort of plateau, you get into life, and then you're sort of cruising at 37,000 feet is the best analogy I can kind of spell out for that. And so then you get into this place where you're cruising along through life. Then there's weddings, cousins, uncles, aunts, things, weddings. Then there's the odd funeral. Then there's more weddings. Then there's the odd funeral. And then there's less weddings. And then there's more funerals. And then life starts to take this shift. And then life becomes less of that building and more of this, settling back in. And so it's these moments that these ups and downs and fluctuations in your emotions that keep you, honestly, it has a major, it takes a major toll, but it really is a big part of building us and who we are. And that's the resiliency that we learn and how we adapt comes from those experiences. And so, here I am going through life. And then all of a sudden, chronic illnesses and, your own physical problems. We all go through things. We all have our crosses to bear. The parents dealing with their issues. Then that starts, you're up here. Now you start getting knocked down. Another bad phone call from the doctor. Another one, Then my dad, check him into the old folks home. Another one. And all of these things. So where you spent these years building up, now you're building down. So all these emotions keep just taking a toll up and down. But all of this time, you've got work and you've got your network keeping you busy. And these people, they're all around you. And that seems like a great situation. And honestly, in a lot of ways, that's a bit of a way to adapt. Because when you're retired, you no longer have that background. You don't have those people around you to sort of help you manage those times, those days, those emotions, those down days that are really rough. And, I'll literally turn on, I'm listening to, YouTube or something, or I'm watching some videos, and a video of the old George Jones will come on to the radio, and it just tugs at the heartstrings, because that was my dad's favorite singer. And so that's all it takes is one song, and bang, it takes me right down, takes me to my knees. So those are those moments, and having those people in your lives are so critical at that time to help you manage that. And maybe some of it's just deflect, and maybe it's some to just help distract you. But regardless, a lot of these people in your lives are there to sort of help you get through this. But then, it almost feels like a bit of a coincidental timing blessing, if you will, because coincidentally enough, I was let go at the end of February. We all know that, February 28th. I basically walked out of the doors of that toxic job environment. for the last time. But then coincidentally, my mother, I was there. We were there through thick and thin, through the majority of, and then definitely at the end, and spending time with her in the last days. And then what we ended up doing was, unfortunately, had to say goodbye at the end of March. So it's almost like it was a timed series of events. She got really ill, and then basically I was off work, and so I was able to help out with that. So all the emotions that come and go, I didn't have that sounding board anymore though at that point, and that's the downside. Sure, I have a brother, but we're not really that close. And I didn't have a lot of other people. My wife was around and my kids were around, so they were great support. But a lot of times then they're back to work and they're doing their busy day to day, so they're not there during the day, and so you often find yourself lacking those people around you, definitely during times of need. And so that's where people think, going to work is a great thing. They're not your friends. They can be a little bit of a support network, but at some level that wears off and grows thin anyway, and all the toxicity that goes with often usually just offsets that, so it doesn't really matter. But realistically, once you retire, all these people are gone. You look around, look. Oh, there's a few people behind me. Look, they're coming up all dressed in black. I don't know, I'm getting kind of creeped out over there. You see that? Do you see them in the background? Yeah, so then you get into a place where you don't have those people anymore. They're gone. Here today, gone tomorrow. And so now you find things have changed. Life's changed, and you find new ways to adapt. You now have to reach out to people. Well, I've lost some friends since, interestingly enough. Not just people at work, but people have sort of taken a decision to isolate and move on. And maybe it's because they don't see me as a productive member of society anymore. And sometimes that's what it is. Sometimes people hang on to you because you represent something that it makes them feel better. They're associated with somebody that's got it going on. And so people start to leave, not just your job, but I've already had a couple people kind of make a decision to walk away, and it changes. It all changes. So you've got to find more within yourself. Spend the quality time with your family, your friends. And unfortunately, I realize a lot of people don't even have a spouse or kids. So it can be challenging. And it's even more important that you go out there and stay not busy, active, and take on hobbies and side hustles and things that get you engaged and re-engaged in life, because those are the things that you have to do, and those are the things you're going to be living with for the next, hopefully, 20, 30 years. Because ultimately, all those people that you once thought were a big part of your life are no longer there. Anyway, give me your thoughts, everybody. I really hope that shared a little insight for you. People do go away, and they're not there forever. Most of them are not truly your friends, but I'd love to hear your thoughts. Anyway, hope to see each and every one in the next one. See you real soon. Bye-bye.